Link found the blade once he was inside. Its shimmering silver reflected the awe that shone in his eyes. He started to feel the gravity of the situation as he realized that he would need this forbidden weapon to vanquish whatever was gnawing at the great tree. The sword seemed barely usable for combat, being no larger than a foot-long dagger. Link inhaled a poignant odor of musty wood decay and rot. With the vague rays of light that were available, he saw cobwebs encasing the interior of the trunk. Link took a few steps in. He was further assessing the intimidating atmosphere when he suddenly lost his footing. He fell face down into a cobweb hidden in the shadows. He felt himself break through, falling headlong down into a hidden pit. Down and down he went, until a splash of water undulated through the deep puddle that he landed in. As Link gasped for air, he was greeted by that despicable smell again, which was explained at the sight of 3 dried-up carcasses of a peculiar type of enormous bug sitting by the water's edge. Even in the dull light, Link saw that they resembled frogs, but each of them had just 2 legs like those of a cricket, and one unnervingly large eye staring blankly into nothing, reflecting what little light there was with a haunting aquamarine color. Link climbed up out of the water onto a wooden shore. Dark as it was, he did not notice the vine that his foot misfortunately encountered. The vine, spanning roughly 3 feet, stretched surprisingly far without snapping as Link lost his footing over it, hitting the hard ground. Something responded to this disturbance, as Link heard what sounded like the ruffling of leaves. In the dim lighting, a figure started to emerge. A strange creature it was, made of wood as it appeared, holding tiny eyes filled with anger at Link's appearance. Although it appeared to be grounded in a bushel of leaves, the large-headed figure's leafy hair was the source of the ruffling. But what was more pertinent was the stout of a mouth like a cannon aimed straight at Link. A pellet flew out and knocked Link back with swift force. It had attacked. Another momentous pellet approached. Link reacted swiftly with a dodge to the left and got up, leaving him a few seconds before another attack. "What is that thing, Navi?" Link yelled to his fairy. "It's a Deku scrub," she replied. "Very rare in Hyrule. Its only defense is those pellets. They tend to flee when the threat is near them." At those words, ingenuity flooded Link's mind. He tore some rotting wood from the wall to use as a shield against those projectiles. Link used it to block them, to get closer. The Deku scrub stood its ground, shooting more frantically as he approached, until one pellet ricocheted off of Link's makeshift shield and returned to the scrub with almost as much force. Wood as it was, it still took a harsh blow. "All right!" Link was shocked to hear the Deku speak. An odd creature like this should not possess such a capability. "You can speak? I am one of the few of my kind that can speak your tongue. You are tougher than most of them." The Deku scrub descended into a bow. "I am at your mercy. Please, Master, if you spare me, I will go back to where I came from and never return to this land." "What is that thing over there?" Link asked firmly, pointing to the carcass he found nearby. "Goma," replied the scrub monotonically. "I've been taking refuge here with these pests. You're looking to rid them, are you not?" The Deku scrub paused, looked around, and leaned in close. "Find the queen. Blind her." The scrub immediately burrowed itself into the ground where he was planted, muttering under his breath, "I'm sorry, Queenie." Link turned to Navi, saying, "Thanks for that." "What is a guardian fairy for, after all?" she replied. Link, taking in what just happened, retained the creature's advice. Muttering it to himself, he descended deeper into the dismal darkness. After a long while, Link could start to hear the faint clicking of tiny feet. He soon discovered that they weren't so tiny when one of them practically skittered across his feet. In that dreaded darkness, Link could barely see anything, but he could hear a faint buzzing. The buzzing grew louder and more sonorous between the wooden walls as he went along, until he reached the source of it, a nest of Goma, visible by an unnatural orange light radiating from the ceiling. Link looked up. A giant glowing eye was staring back at him, and it was attached to a gargantuan body, belonging to the parasitic armored arachnid queen, Goma. Navi suddenly appeared at Link's ear. "That's the queen," she informed. "You must kill it so its offspring cannot survive." The beast dropped down, nearly crushing some of its eggs. The thing had 6 limbs, squirming as it stood on its hind legs to stand intimidating. Under its fiery orange eye were 2 pincers, intent on devouring him. Link dodged its attacks swiftly. He was wondering how one would kill this thing with the puny knife he had picked up on his way in. His first instinct was to stab blindly. The thing screeched. Link opened his eyes to a large bleeding one. He jabbed the blade several more times to permanently blind it. But the beast stepped backwards on its 6 legs. It turned around and blindly scaled the wall in retreat. Link noticed a disgusting organ on its backside that could only be explained by the eggs it had laid. Gittering on the ceiling, its blindness caught up to it, as it lost its footing and fell once more in front of Link. Squirming on its back, it squealed helplessly. Link conjured all the courage he had and went for its underside. He impaled the dagger into the insect's chest, and after a long, ear-splitting squeal, the thing was dead. Empowered by his newfound courage, he slew everything in the nest, even destroying every last egg. He began clambering back out, mindlessly walking back the way he came, and climbing out of the pit, as if it were all routine. Taking in what he had just done, he was greeted by that summer sun as he finally exited, with his trial complete. "Your Greatness, it was a colony of Goma," Link reported. "They are all gone now, though." "Well done, Link. Thou hast fairly demonstrated thy courage. I am proud to have raised thee." The great Deku tree was gasping upon every breath. "Didn't it heal you? But perhaps it takes some time." "Link," the tree responded quickly, "though your valiant efforts to break the curse were successful, I was doomed before you started. I apologize, but I used my illness as an opportunity to test thy courage, and thou have performed beautifully." "I still don't understand why my courage was tested." "My boy, the man who cast this dreadful curse on me, a wicked man of the desert, ceaselessly uses his vile sorcerous powers in his search for the divine relic in the sacred realm. Thou must never allow the desert man in black armor to lay his hands on that relic." Link did not know what the divine relic or sacred realm was, but he realized the man the Deku tree was describing was the man from his dreams, the one chasing the mare, the one who knocked Link to the ground with a flick of his wrist. "Thou must never suffer that man, with his evil heart, to enter the sacred realm of legend. That is why I tested thy courage. Yes, I will pass away soon, but do not grieve for me. Now quickly, take this sacred stone and bring it to see the Princess of Hyrule, Zelda, at Hyrule Castle. This is Hyrule's final hope." Something shiny fell down from the leaves of the great Deku tree. Link picked it up. It was an emerald, a round one, glimmering within a golden crown encasing it with a curious spiral pattern. But before Link could ask any questions, the tree's eyes were closed, his trunk dark, his face still, his mien silent, his presence gone. The great Deku tree had died, and Link somehow felt guilty, even though he had nothing to do with this elaborate scheme that had been thrown in his face. Link, tearing up, said a quiet goodbye, and then turned away, walking out of the empty clearing alongside his new fairy, who had a melancholy expression of her own, grasping the mysterious green jewel.